Hey guys, I'm S. Dan Wolf. Welcome back to the channel, and we are covering some more Planet Coaster 2 rumors because that's all we have to go off of. Remember, there is no actual Frontier. Every time I make one of these videos, I'll get like 3 or 4 comments, and people will say, when did they announce Planet Coaster 2? So right off the beginning, they did not. They haven't. We don't know anything official from Frontier. The only thing we have to go off of is speculation and rumors. But one of the interesting things I've noticed, maybe just a month or so ago, we actually have, it's a Gfinity article, but we have a first that I have seen, actual, like, Planet Coaster 2 publication from not just one of us nerds making a YouTube video or talking about it on Twitter. So Maya Hutchinson, who writes for Gfinity, actually put out a Planet Coaster 2 article, and it says Planet Coaster 2 news and what we'd love to see. What do we want to see from Planet Coaster 2? And let's go ahead, we'll read her article, and I'll link it down below if you want to go look at it and kind of read through it yourself later, and then maybe we can talk about what we want to see from a Planet Coaster 2, especially with all the Park Beyond hype going on now. Even the video I put out just a couple days ago about Park Beyond, there are still a lot of people that are like, no thanks, I'll wait for Planet Coaster 2. Me personally, I am really pumped to give Park Beyond a try. I am all for any company trying to put out a new theme park simulation type game. We're hoping it's not going to be a RollerCoaster Tycoon World type situation. But I just think that the communication and the scope that what this company's trying to present to us, and as far as some of their prior games they've worked on, this isn't like just a little 5-person studio that nobody's ever heard of. This with Limbic Entertainment, I think there's going to be a level of quality there that I think we'll all be able to appreciate. But we'll do some more Park Beyond videos as it gets closer to May 9th and the closed beta, but I know you guys are here for Planet Coaster 2. And it says, when Frontier announced Planet Coaster, all the way back in 2016, it was met with a wave of excitement and adoration, and although it still remains a fantastic game, we wonder if perhaps there might be a Planet Coaster 2 release date in our future. And her article kind of goes back and forth. It's almost like she's excited for Planet Coaster 2, but doesn't think it'll ever happen, but then thinks it might happen. So maybe she's more in tune with all of us, because I think that's how all of us have been. Whilst the original Planet Coaster certainly did encourage the player to step into the mind of a tycoon and play their cards right, most of the time players instead opted for death machines or extraordinary coaster creations. Since its release, Planet Coaster has seen a large swath of DLC, free updates, and events that have improved and expanded the game. So the real question is, will there be a Planet Coaster 2? And kind of then diving into where we don't really know, she says, realistically speaking, Planet Coaster itself is a near perfect game, which I think that that can be met with some, maybe that's your opinion. Very fun game. Near perfect, that's has she played it? Very much. Most sequels are intended to build upon and improve a game with new features, but since Planet Coaster's release, it's seen so much love and work from Frontier, it's hard to wonder whether there will be a second game at all. Frontier instead used the same engine and a lot of similar mechanics to create the equally popular and beloved Planet Zoo. And we have to agree with her there. They learned so much from Planet Coaster that they were able to transfer over to Planet Zoo. And I think for me, just the lighting and the weather mechanics alone blow Planet Coaster out of the water, unless you give it a little bit. Now remember, I was pretty hot and heavy with my Palm Island kind of, little theme park side Universal Studios Disney World morph love child project. And once you give it a couple days, even a week or so, and you lay off of Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster goes back to looking normal. I don't know if it's a visual thing or a psychological thing just with our brains, but you can't play both at the same time and expect to still really enjoy Planet Coaster. from pure visual, it won't let you. But if you could make yourself put Planet Zoo away for a couple weeks and just focus on Planet Coaster, I had a blast. I was playing it for hours and hours on end. Again, for a good probably 2 months. There would be times where I would come down here on a Saturday and I would, I'd probably put 6 or 7 hours into Planet Coaster again, and that was 2023. That was just like at the beginning of this year, end of 2022. And I was still putting 6 and 7 hour days into that project when I was really hot and heavy on it. But I had kind of given up on Planet Zoo as well. I've kind of given up on Planet Zoo kind of just almost anyway now, but going back into Planet Coaster, that really helped. Regardless, each DLC Frontier release for Planet Coaster boasted a new theme each time, but frequent updates also fixed any bugs or issues the game had, meaning Planet Coaster was constantly kept in stable and excellent condition. And then, of course, we know once they kind of made the console announcement, that was kind of the end of life as the unofficial, I mean, you guys can agree, that was kind of the unofficial end of life for Planet Coaster. They never said, it was over, we're not updating it anymore, but once they, if you've not played a lot of Planet Coaster, you may not know, but once they released the console version, there was no more dual updates, so there was no more DLC after that, to where you got the DLC for the console and the PC version. And I'm thinking that's probably what'll happen with Planet Zoo 2 once it reaches its end. Once we get that, I'm thinking probably summer console announcement, summer of 2023 console announcement. Probably won't see any more packs or any more themes for Planet Zoo. I mean, maybe not. I mean, the packs and stuff are still selling really well. You had like a 7,000 person spike when the Tropical Pack just released. Really, really stellar, fun pack. But like I said, I just don't know how much more they could actually put into that. I mean, I guess you could go on forever with adding different animals. But as far as the game life goes, you wonder when like Planet Zoo is kind of ending and they start shifting some of that workload over to a new Planet franchise, whether it be Planet Coaster 2 or whatever planet. But they're even as early as Wednesday, Frontier was tweeting out that they're doing a big art push and concept push for quote unquote Planet franchise. So they're not really even ready to name whatever that planet is. And we know, of course, we know that they've copywritten a bunch of planets, Planet City, Planet Soccer, and then of course, they've got Planet Coasters already kind of wrapped up. So I don't think it'd be too big of a deal wrapping a 2 on the end of that. But anyways, I digress. It's so whilst we may love to see a Planet Coaster 2, it's unlikely Frontier will make a sequel to the already brilliant game anytime soon. That being said, it's very likely that the next project will be in the same genre as Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. Some fans believe we might see Planet Cities as a competitor to City Skylines 2 that, is coming out, another city building game. That being said, if we indeed see an announcement of Planet Coaster 2, here are some of the things we would love to see. So, one of the things I totally agree with her on that we were wanting from the very beginning, and that is water parks. While most of the DLC added a number of features to the game, none ever added something quite as big or substantial as an entirely new mechanic for coaster building. In particular, fans of Planet Coaster have been especially keen on seeing water-based rides being added to the game. Not just rides you can add some water themes to, but rather a proper water park. Yes, that is what a lot of us have been really been harping on since probably 2017-ish. And every DLC you kept wanting, the Planet Zoo people keep waiting on birds or aquariums. That was us with water parks. Every update, every 3 months, we were saying, this might be it. This might be it. We're going to get the water parks, and it just never happened. So hopefully, if Planet Coaster 2 is being developed, Sam Denny, if you're out there listening to this, you complete nerd, We need water parks. That was one of the funnest things to do in RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 Soaked expansion, was to build the Little People water parks. We need that. So please, please design this from the beginning with that being a possibility down the road. Even if you don't launch with it, just don't box yourselves in to where water parks can't be a thing. Watch Planet Water Park come out and it's not. That is so Frontier. Watch Planet Water Parks come out and it's just totally a water park sim and they leave out the coasters and all that. Not just rides you can add to some water themes too, but rather a proper water park, wave pools, lazy rivers, slides, and so on. Some fantastic coaster players have been able to create their own makeshift water parks, which certainly drew some allure to the prospect altogether. And that's what I was heavy on doing. Remember, you guys remember 2018, 2017, 2018? I was the water park dude. Rudy had Kawali Beach that they were putting together, but that is, we wanted water parks so hard we were faking it in a coaster simulation. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. Co-op gameplay. Many fans have wanted a cooperative mode for both Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. Although players can visit each other's parks, they can't work on one together. But to be able to share a single park with friends as the two of you work together on building it would be a fantastic experience, whether they want to challenge a friend or simply relax and slowly expand their parks together. The option would be a welcome one. Abso-freaking-lutely. Just look at Parkitect. Even remember Drew and I did some streams together where we were building at the same time. Could you freaking imagine? People would lose their minds if you could actually collaborate together in real time. Could you imagine the streams that people could put together while you're both building? That could go on. You could have like a 4 or 5 hour stream just bouncing ideas back and forth, or say like Drew starts on a coaster layout while I'm working on the entrance and the queue line of the coaster at the same time, and you're like bouncing back and forth between you've got like, if you've got 2 screens, you've got both streams pulled up at the same time. I think that would be pretty freaking epic. Let's see here. VR features. I'm not really big into VR, but it would be pretty cool. In Planet Coaster, you can choose to see through the eyes of the park attendants as they ride on various rides. However, if players could also have the option to use VR when spying through their attendees' eyes, they could experience their own park through a more exciting lens, though it would likely have to be play tested quite thoroughly to avoid excess motion sickness. Joint parks, another fan favorite feature on many people's wish list is the possibility of fusing Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo together to create enormous and fantastic theme parks. It could feature both animals and a number of rides similar to RollerCoaster Tycoon 3, which had a zoo, roller coasters, and water parks. I know a lot of us have said that for a long time, a la Busch Gardens. That would be a dream Planet game, I think, come true. Could you imagine if Planet Coaster 2 was actually like cross-compatible with Planet Zoo? But I don't know how they would work out the logistics of that. Like I could just imagine like the coding and the programming of that alone. It's not impossible for this to happen, considering Frontier has 2 fully developed games that, with some fine-tuning and maintenance, could function together in one game. And then, of course, the big elephant in the room that always seems to get a weird mixed reaction from Frontier and Frontier players alike. Mod support. Planet Coaster gives players the option to download a number of rides placed in the public Steam workshops, but when it comes to mods, there's no easy support. With community modding, Planet Coaster could trust its many fans and creative modders to make some of the very things in our own wish list, and allowing for easy access to modding would only do them favors with the player base. I think the thing about that is Frontier's always been weird about that. I think it's probably just like from a business standpoint, shareholder type standpoint, if you had guys like Leaf and different modders out here like giving us mods for free that Frontier could actually make and charge us for, I think that's where you kind of get the problem with that. I don't know if that's why Frontier is always so skittish with mods. But I would just think it's not that they hate modders, but it's just it's probably just a financial thing. They don't want modders in there creating stuff that they could charge for down the road, essentially. So I don't know. We'll have to see whether or not we see Planet Coaster 2. There's clearly a lot of content that could be added and thus create another popular game. Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo are both beloved, and Frontier has shown themselves to their fans, thus gaining support for whatever project they might end up working on. But certainly it seems as though fans would love to see another Planet Coaster. And that is, I think that's right. They have shown a lot of goodwill. They don't try to destroy us on the DLCs. Of course, in the beginning, every game that has DLC, you're gonna have the quote unquote, this should have been in the base game, crowd. But, you could say that about every game that's ever had DLC. I think Frontier is, I think they seem to try to take from the best of their ability. If we want it, we typically get it. I think for things that we don't get, I think their engine holds them back. I think that David Braben and the higher ups at Frontier have invested so much money into the Cobra engine, it's going to go down with the ship. I wish that Frontier as a studio would look at, using some of the more mainstream engines. Like I was saying, could you imagine like a Planet Coaster with the Unreal Engine? Or even look at like the nerds in Prehistoric Kingdom, which I probably won't play again just because the horrible decision that they made with the rock work, but they made that in Unity. And there's been a lot of people that have asked them, why don't you guys make a zoo game, or why don't you make a theme park game? And they're just kind of weird about that. They said they have no interest in making that and making anything other than working on Prehistoric Kingdom. But I think that they're just really, really invested heavily in Cobra. They've bet their whole brand on it, from Elite Dangerous to Planet Coaster to Jurassic World Evolution. It's all Cobra based, so I wouldn't look for them to really deviate from that. We have to admit it's a very creative engine. It's a beautiful rendering engine, as far as the lighting and stuff we have now, and just the feel that you get when you go into a Planet game and watching the little crowds and stuff. But I definitely think it's an engine that holds back their ambition and holds back a lot of our wants. I think we definitely know water gives them trouble. The water gives Cobra trouble, I believe. And it's just one of those things where, like, what could be if they weren't so tied to Cobra, if they were to branch out and use one of those other engines. But of course I understand there's other things that go with that too, like having to pay Epic or whatever, so much of your proceeds, as far as if you use their engine and stuff like that goes, I believe. But yeah, I think my biggest thing for Planet Coaster 2 is I would really like to see an announcement, even sometime this spring, even if it's like a ways off. I would just like something official from Frontier. I wish we had just some kind of big hype to go off of. But who knows? It could be a random Tuesday. We could be sitting here and you guys will be blowing my phone up because it's finally been announced, or whatever is announced. I hope it's not. I'm not really into like the sports games per se. Like, I hope it's not like a Planet Soccer where you're just like managing and building soccer stadiums or something stupid like that. I'm hoping it's a Planet Coaster 2. But who knows? There's a lot of good creators out there that are covering this, and JLW does a lot of videos on this. I believe Moon Socks is still covering this. So now that it's kind of getting towards the beginning of May, we're really getting into spring of 2023 now. I just wanted to get your all's thoughts and what do you think? Are we close to a Planet Coaster 2 announcement or a Planet franchise announcement altogether, just of anything? And but yeah, let me know what you guys want to see in a Planet Coaster 2. I'm like I said, I'm with her. I am more leaning towards, I hope that water park features become a thing. That's, that really was kind of what piques my interest. But no, man, it's been, it's been 2017, 26. I started playing, what did I start playing Planet Coaster? Like at the end of 2015 in the Coaster Head Club. So it has been quite a while, definitely over 7 years. And I would definitely like to see an updated spiritual successor. And hopefully, like I said, when Park Beyond comes out, hopefully I get picked in for that closed beta here in just a couple weeks, and maybe that could give us a lot of what we're looking for as far as building and scenery goes. And I know the coasters and stuff look a little wild, they look a little out there, but I've never been much. I'm more of a theming type of guy anyway. So, but anyways, yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll just keep, like always, I'll keep on the lookout for any Planet Coaster 2 news. I've kind of always just have my ears close to this stuff and just seeing what people are talking about. So once I saw this article come out, this Gfinity esports article, it kind of caught my attention. Like, wow, I think that is the first news outlet that has ever mentioned Planet Coaster 2. So I just thought that was, pretty interesting to cover. So big shout out to Maya Hutchinson. You can follow her on Twitter. And yeah, just let us know what you think. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you. See ya.